One of the best things regarding the gaming industry is the constant examples of evolution within the landscape. It was a big deal when Mario Bros. And the Nintendo Entertainment System, along with The Legend of Zelda, helped pioneer genres, such as the 2D platform and the RPG, respectively. Over the course of time, more ideas started making it to the forefront, such as music games, simulator games, and of course, the Battle Royale games. However, in 2022, we were graced with an interesting story driven platform that is truly the cat's meow. Stray was announced in 2020, however, I actually didn't realize the game was a thing until a year later, and I've been interested in playing it for quite some time. The story begins with a stray cat hanging around with its three friends. During an outing exploring the outside world, all of a sudden the stray gets separated from the group and ends up locked down in a city with no humans in sight. While trying to get back to the surface, they uncover what happened to the city to lock itself away from the world. While the humans are no longer residing in this neon lit city, the stray discovers the whole location is populated by robots who were built from the humans who lived in the city many years ago, before the start of the game's plot. This is one of the game's strengths. This game has a world robust amount of characters, each with their own story that may lead into more information about how the city came locked down. And it's honestly worth investing in the time to learn more about them. Some of the characters you meet along the way's goals align with your own, and their stories are rather heartfelt tugs in the feels department. The story is exceptionally well told from start to end, where you can really see the emotion and feel it, all without voice acting really in this game. Considering Stray is an adventure game, the Stray is actually quite resourceful. Avoiding the fact the Stray's intelligence is that of the human playing the game, the Stray is able to run, jump, meow, knock off, and pick up various items, and of course, scratch in order to cause distractions or to disrupt electronics. The gameplay feels incredibly smooth. It's one of those games where it's simple to interact with, yet satisfying to go through the various locations. Movement is near limitless. The Stray is able to jump pretty high and move along any obstacles within range, truly allowing you to feel like a cat, while getting point A to point B in whatever way that you are able to see fit. It's a nice layer of freedom not found in other games. The game does open up with a slight combat opportunities as well to deal with the antagonist called the Zerks. However, it is short-lived for a good lore reason, and it's actually a nice change of pace. You are a stray cat with very little means of offensive capabilities, so providing the player with the means only for it to be removed gives a different outlook on how to interact further with what seems like a key feature. Don't worry, the game rewards you with clever opportunities to deal with the Zerks and Sentinels later in the game, including even jailing them. Considering exploring the vast world as well, because the game itself and the main story can be finished in under 5 hours. The game offers options such as for searching a character's memory, known as B12, who helps you along the majority of the game and unlocks more back into their backstory along with the world itself. So it's a nice little distraction from the main quest if you want to learn more about the world and how it came to be. The music for the game is very subtle. Let me explain. The music serves its purpose to emphasize the mood of whatever is happening. The score is mainly composed of sound effects, plenty of reverb sound to give it that wideness feel, and of course, a lot of piano and electronic sounds influencing the music as well, which is very fitting to the mood, considering the piano can add a layer of humanity to a humanless world, and of course, the electronic sounds can be a direct reference to the fact the majority of the interactions you are going to have, you guessed it, is with robots. As much as I praise and give the OST for this game, there really isn't much other time to listen to the tracks unless you're playing the game, because it was designed so well mainly for one purpose and doesn't really much work for anything else. Though there are a few tracks you can listen to and of course get enjoyment out of them outside of the game. A track such as Daybreak is a great example. I love this game, don't get me wrong, but there are a few things after thinking about for a while I feel that need to be addressed. The length of the game. If you don't take your time, you can actually beat this game in just under 5 hours. Hell, even with gathering half of B12's memories throughout the game, I still clocked in at just a little over 4 hours. This is including all the gameplay I did, not skipping a single cutscene, and along with a fair amount of exploration. This isn't inherently a bad thing, but it is something to be mindful of. Because with only a 4-ish hour playtime, sometimes when you feel like you're really getting satisfied with the gameplay and story and can't wait to see what comes next, it actually might be close right to the end when you're really getting into it. Another issue I feel about the game that needs to be addressed actually lies within the story. I'm going to leave out as much detail as I can to avoid spoilers because it's still a recent game, but the more you get into the game's story, the less it feels to be about the cat trying to escape as the primary focus. It starts off with you trying to find your own way out. However, along the way, it ends up with becoming less about you and becoming essentially the errand boy, errand cat, to help take care of everyone else's problems as well. Whether knowing or not, that'll actually lead the cat one step closer to reaching their goal of reuniting with their friends. It makes it ultimately feel that the cat's quest to return their friends takes a backseat approach, as they uncover more and more about what really happened years ago with the assistance of B12. Sure, don't get me wrong, I still enjoyed the process, but looking back, it felt like the more of the cat's focus of the story became a distant memory and was only really able to conclude by spending the majority of the time focusing on other characters and fixing their issues. Nonetheless, though, I still enjoyed the most of the twists and turns that the story does unleash. A few people have mentioned that you could change the character from a cat to nearly anything else, and nothing would really change, and to an extent, they are correct. Stray is a delight from start to end with a simple approach that evolves into a larger story that deepens the lore of the world, while coming back to form in just the nick of time. Visually, the game looks pretty good on PlayStation 5. The well-crafted sound design helps to sink the immersion, while the world around you takes shape with a wide array of characters. Movement is only restricted by what you're able to realistically think that a cat would be able to do during this short trip. And of course, throughout the game you might find little Easter eggs and nods to other video games in the past memory, and it's just a delight to see so. I would recommend picking up this game, especially if you can find it on sale, and with its strengths, it does well, but its faults do hinder the experience slightly. I would give this about a 7.5 or 8 out of 10. Thank you for watching, everyone. Let me know your thoughts in the comments section below, and of course, if you're a cat or dog person, or neither, you do you. I got some other videos on the channel, like my Cuphead review in under 12 minutes, or if you're into anime, I've also reviewed Kakarot. People seem to like that video a lot. Take it easy, everyone. Peace.